Right, so as I mentioned before, I'm going to take the front of this off and see if I can maybe tie it up with some wire or something out of the way. I've got 3 of the screws out, I'm just going to take the last one out, but how I'm going to tie it up I'm not sure. I did have it off once before and do this, but I can't remember. Horrible night out, banging it down. I have to move you. I'm not sure if this new one's going to be any better than the old one. The way would be to set it up externally first, wouldn't it, and try it. If it's going to be no better, no point in fitting it. I know I can't go any faster than the 12 volt that it puts out and the revs it goes at, which is not super fast but fast enough for the most bits of work I do. So it's just slowing it down more I wanted to do. Getting into that's going to be a cow badge. Of course, I can't remember how I did all this. I did write on them all the cables though. I all wrote up what they are. Speed controller in there if I can show you it. That's the original one. It's in the back. It's in the back there. You can see it. A lot of wires. I told you it'd be a mess, didn't I? Should have been doing that for a customer when I used to work. We'd have had to fit a DIN rail on the back of that panel in there, a terminal, and everything had had to be wired to it and then wired out from that to the front panel. But when you're doing stuff for yourself, you just do it, do you? You just make it work, and it does. Yeah, I want to knock this off while I get that out, that speed control, and get it out and dangling and see where I can go with it. Right, that's the power that went to the speed controller that's in there. I've diverted that to here. On the back was writing, which you'll not be able to see, but it says power positive, power negative, motor positive, motor negative. So I just need to find the 2 motor ones now. And a little tip: if you ever disconnect anything and you're not sure what you're doing, You know, a fag packet drawing will do. X-axis speed control wiring. The blue and the green is the output, which goes to the motor, and the red and the black is the power supply coming in, which is what I've connected. So next is the green and the blue, which is on a pair of connectors in the back of here. Because this don't work, I'm going to put it all back again. Don't you dare come out of there. They're actually in, they're on, these are what you use in the electrical game, they're called bootlace crimps. Because you know, if you just get a piece of wire bare, you twist it, you shove it in a hole, unless you tin it, you're going to get frayed wires coming back and you possible problems in the future. So you always use bootlace crimps, which makes life a lot easier. So motor positive. Double check. Motor negative. Have to somehow insulate this or wrap it up or something. If it touches its case or anything, it's going to go bang. There's that. There's no switch on it, it's just a potentiometer. Well, it's 12 volts, unlikely to give me a shock, but I suppose I could hold it like that, couldn't I? Ah, have we got a result, guys? So let's zoom out. Now I'm going to bring camera further away. What I can tell you is that the controller in that box is 20 amps, which I bought probably in error because it didn't need to be 20 amps. The most I've ever tongued on that Mondeo wiper motor, I think, were about 3.5 amps. So that was probably, the regulator is probably way too big. So it's turned off, so that's on. Oh, look at that bad boy. Didn't do that before. That's on full. And that's left. That was right. Brilliant. Super duper. Now let's make sure my return works. That's what I've got on front of here. I've got power on, power off. I've got left and right and a speed pot. and then I've got jog return, which it only comes this way in return, because that's the only way I wired it up, without putting another two-way crossover switch in. So basically I've used the high speed motor terminal on that Mondeo wiper motor. You know, you've got 2-speed wipers, and the high speed I've used for jog return. So let's try that. If I go right on full speed, which it is, turn it off up and press jog return. You see difference in speed? That's the normal 1-speed motor, and that's 2-speed, so fast return. Brilliant. I'm well chuffed that I can alter the speed of that now. I don't know if you'd ever want it that slow, but at least it will. It's handy. So what I need to do now, turn everything off, power it down, is I need to take out that old controller, because we don't need it anymore. I'll show you that when I get it out. And I've got to attempt to get that one in. Now, looking at that, there don't seem to be a lot of room for the thickness of this to go in there, because you've got your terminal blocks, your switch contact blocks, and all the wires come out of it, and they're all on bootlaces, so not flexible as such. I've got to say that is not going to go in there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this off here, mark up which the terminals are, desolder it, run a 3-core lead from there, put some length of lead on it so I can put that pot in that hole where the original one is, and then put it all back together and mount that somewhere. We'll have to insulate it, wrap it or something, but I'll just tuck it inside. There's no way really of fixing it. I don't want to touch any of that frame to any of this steel frame. I want to keep it insulated, or should I say isolated from it. Okay, I'll knock that off and start stripping stuff down, because you're going to just see my arms in the way otherwise. So it's going to be no benefit whatsoever. Right, I've got that out. And that's how it was connected before. It came like that with the tail on and the speed pot. So I need to sort of copy that with this one. Then you take this bracket off, take that bolt out, desolder it, take it out, and then do more or less the same as that one with some slightly longer leads on. Some little thin wire. I'll see what I can find. I think I've got some alarm wire somewhere. Excuse me, I've had a curry and I've got a right indigestion. Yeah, there's not really to show other than that's the one I've taken off. DC motor controller, DC 9 to 60 volts, 20 amps maximum. And give you a wiring diagram there of the inputs, the outputs, what they do. There's only 4 wires, and it tells you what they are there. I don't know if you can see that, whether you can read it. Let's have a look. So I've got to assume that that was too big, either too cheapo or too big at 20 amps. I know for a fact that one's 10 amps. I specifically ordered it for that reason. But that does look good quality, doesn't it? 2 nice capacitors in there, 2 sort of transistors or thyristors or whatever they are. There's a chip in there and some components, diode, resistor, little capacitors, pairs of. There's another thing there which I guess must be some sort of a voltage regulating, and little dinky heat sinks on it. Nice little piece of kit. That wasn't expensive, but I did get it off eBay. There's obviously a plug-in there for something or other, whether it's a copy of that speed pot. I'm not sure I actually know them to go to a component in there. Don't know. Anyway, thought I'd show it all as I'm doing it. So next thing is I'll take that off and make it a lead. And change this battery, it looks like it's nearly flat. Cat 5 cable, 3 twin twisted pair with a strain gauge wire. Which you connect to earth. Well, after much of ado about nothing, I eventually got this speed pot off. I nearly got to a point where I was going to just chop it and use the one off this old one. They're 100k and that one's 100k as well. So I nearly chopped the wires. And I thought, no, I don't want to knacker that up. You never know when you might need it for another job. So I want to keep it intact. So we're done. I've taken that one off. It won't come out. There's little spades in there that push through the printed circuit board. They were so tight. Well, I'm glad I checked that again because it was soldered. There's a terminal on that piece of board, some etching on the printed circuit board. On the two outside pins, it's connected at the other side too. So I've taken them back off and I've melted them and poked them through and soldered them at both sides. So we're all ready to go. Just need to insulate this up somehow because I don't know how I can fix that in that little box. Just need to insulate it all. But I've left quite a long lead on here, so we've got plenty of room. It's the same size pot as the other one, so technically it should go in okay, apart from it's got a lug on there which might have to come off. So I don't think there's a hole in that panel for that lug, but I will check. So I'll come back when I've got this thing in and we'll give it a proper run and see what we get. Might have a bit smaller one. Right, moment of truth. Power on. Speed right down, jog. Fine. Left. That's at full speed. I think some people might want to go faster than that, but I've always been quite happy with it at full speed, what that is. I've never wanted to go any quicker because I don't do anything silly on here anyway. So yep, got control. I don't know how powerful it'd be on low, probably not that powerful because it'll be reducing current, won't it? And that's sending the right way. Yep, brilliant. Just what the doctor ordered. Somewhat went right for a change. Suppose I better take it all apart now and see what I did right. Yeah, a good little repair to a previous mod. Now we definitely are finished on it, I'm sure we are. I'll think of something one day, I suppose. So I think the next thing might be, I am going to make a reparting tool holder to go on the Myford, but I've got a block of steel that'll do it, but it's going to be so damn tall. I don't know. I think possibly the next best thing to do would be